The Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow it to end Title 42. The pandemic-era restriction used to expel migrants from the U.S. was set to expire on Wednesday. A coalition of Republican-led states asked the court to keep the policy in place. Now, thousands of people who have been crossing the U.S.-Mexico border are in legal limbo. I'm joined by Professor Andrew Schoenholtz. He teaches immigration law and policy at the Georgetown University Law Center. He is also director of the Center for Advanced Legal Studies at Georgetown Law's Asylum Clinic. Professor, let's just start. We wanted to get your guidance on Title 42 because it gets discussed so much, and we wanted to kind of get a sense of the law behind it. So why did District Judge Emmett Sullivan say that the Biden administration had to stop using Title 42 altogether?
So Judge Sullivan, John, declared that this was arbitrary and capricious. And frankly, this goes back, of course, to the first time it was used during the Trump administration in March of 2020. It's a very arcane law that Congress actually enacted in 1892. And it was meant essentially to be used in case the United States needed to quarantine any immigrants that were coming to the United States before they allowed them to mix with the public. And it never was authorized to essentially have the government expel immigrants, including asylum seekers. So the bottom line is that it's been used by both administrations very robustly. There's 2.5 million immigrants who've been expelled under this healthcare law. And the reason this has come to a head now is in April of this year, the Biden administration's Center for Disease Control declared that the law was no longer needed for this purpose, that a public health measure is no longer justified under the public health laws. So they will be using the immigration laws to enforce our border.
And so so basically, now you have Republican governors saying, wait a minute, we want a delay. If the judges said it's arbitrary and capricious, and the CDC has said there's no longer a health basis for a health-based law, on what grounds do those Republican governors make their argument? And do they have any grounds, whether it's a successful argument or not? I mean, what case do they make?
Yes, well, interestingly, they're not really arguing that there's a healthcare crisis at the border, which, if they were, and there were a healthcare crisis, at least the way the law has been interpreted by the administrations, by the Trump and Biden administrations, that might have some weight, but they're not doing that. And as I said, if the justices or any judges look at the Title 42 law, frankly, it was never meant to do this. That's not why Congress created it. Congress could try to do something like that, but that's not what it's done in the past. So they're not standing on strong ground at this point.
Is this one of those cases, Andrew, where basically all administrations and all parties are trying to make a tool do something it was never intended to do, and judges are in the business of making sure you abide by the reason the legislation was written in the first place? And while there may be a grave need, you can't go using a hammer when you're supposed to use a screwdriver.
Yes, I think that is the case, John. And not only that, the Biden administration is arguing that the regular immigration laws are all it needs to enforce the laws at the border. And the laws allow for people to seek asylum. They also allow for the United States to not allow in those people who don't have any way to show that they, fear persecution or that they fear torture if returned to their home countries, unless they have some other legal right to be in the United States. So yes, we've come to that crossroad again.
And just to follow the bouncing ball, Chief Justice Roberts stepped in. And so now the Biden administration has said, OK, we'll allow Title 42 to expire, but they're not the only voice in this. What's your expectation, or what happens next with the Supreme Court, given that the Republican governors still want this in place?
So, John, it's really impossible to predict what the Supreme Court will do. Again, if they're going to try to look at this frankly, I think they'll find that the statute does not confer the authority that it was originally used for under both the Trump and Biden administrations. And right now, I think the Biden administration was ready as of tomorrow, and now they'll need a few more days to send the resources down to the border to simply enforce the regular immigration laws. And by the way, just so it's clear, the Biden administration has been doing both at the same time. While the Trump administration relied heavily, almost exclusively, on this healthcare measure to expel asylum seekers, the Biden administration has been using the immigration laws to allow some asylum seekers to enter the country and argue that they have a fear of persecution or torture. And in other cases, they've been expelling them. But you know, many of the asylum seekers are coming from Venezuela and Nicaragua. And the United States itself, the State Department recognizes those countries as repressive authoritarian regimes. So it's a difficult situation, to say the least.
Indeed. And just as a last question, one of the real reasons I wanted to talk to you is remind us of many of, as you mentioned, many of those who show up at the border requesting asylum. Can you remind us of the foundation of U.S. asylum policy and what commitments it obliges the administration to uphold as a part of our sort of national value system?
Yes, precisely, John. So the Congress passed the Refugee Act of 1980 to set up an asylum system and also to bring refugees who are at risk from abroad to the United States. And the law makes it very clear, as it's even been amended somewhat since in 1980, that asylum seekers have a right to apply and seek asylum in the United States, no matter how they enter the country, whether at a port of entry or in between the ports of entry. And the United States government has an obligation not to return a refugee to a country of persecution or torture under our statutes and under the Refugee Treaty and Torture Convention Treaty that the United States Senate has ratified and is part of our laws. So the obligation is not to return people to countries of persecution or torture. It all goes back to the failures of refugee policy during the Second World War, when millions were lost, in part because countries did not provide refuge to people who really needed it.
All right, Andrew Schoenholtz, thank you so much for being with us and helping us walk through all of that.
Thank you very much, John. Good evening now.